An old woman, Amma, lived a life so simple that her greatest treasure was a single warm egg for breakfast. She believed, "One is enough, my dear. May we always have just what we need." But when her hen, Poppy, started laying 2 eggs every morning, Amma was faced with a choice that would test her philosophy. Instead of keeping the extra, she began to share it. This small act of generosity started a chain of events that would prove that true wealth has nothing to do with what you own.
Amma's world was a small cottage with a garden. A gentle stream flowed nearby. Her days began with a simple ritual. Each morning, she would go to the coop. Her loyal hen, Poppy, would have laid 1 warm egg. Amma spoke to Poppy as a friend. She would say, "Good morning, my dear. Thank you for this gift." Poppy would cluck softly in reply. This was their quiet conversation. It was a life built on the principle of enough. Amma felt a deep gratitude for her necessities. She had no children and her husband was gone, but she was not lonely. Her happiness came from the sun on her face. It came from the sound of the fence whispering in the wind. She did not dream of more. She felt rich in peace and quiet companionship. Her contentment was a choice she made each day. It was not an accident. This is the first lesson for us, my dear friends. Happiness is a choice we can all make. True wealth is found not in what you lack. It is found in appreciating what you already possess. Amma's cottage was small. Her garden was simple. But her heart was full. She had everything she needed. She had food from her garden. She had the warmth of the sun. She had the friendship of a hen. This was her great fortune. But this peaceful balance was about to be challenged. A small daily miracle was coming. It would test her belief in enough. It would ask her what to do with a little bit more. The rhythm of her life was steady. The stream flowed, the sun rose, Poppy clucked. Everything was as it should be. Yet change was coming, as soft as a morning breeze. It would start with something very small. It would start with an extra egg in the nest. The test was not far away. The world was about to offer Amma a little more than she needed. Her response would teach everyone a great lesson about true wealth.
One morning, Amma went to the coop as she always did. She reached into the nest. Her hand felt not 1, but 2 warm eggs. They were both smooth and brown. She looked at Poppy, who was watching her. Amma smiled and said softly, "2. Well, now that's generous." This was the first test for Amma. It was a test of what to do with unexpected abundance. Her life was built on the idea of 1 is enough. Now she had 2. Her first thought was not to keep both eggs for herself. Her first thought was to share one. She did not see the extra egg as something to store away. She saw it as a gift meant for someone else. She placed 1 egg in her basket for her own breakfast. She took the second egg and walked to the village market. There, she did not sell the egg for coins. She traded it with a vendor for a little bit of rice and a small piece of jaggery. This act turned her surplus into a practical form of gratitude. It connected her more deeply to her community. She came home with food to last a few more days. Some villagers saw her do this. They thought it was a strange thing to do. One man said to her, "Amma, if you feed Poppy more grain, she will lay even more eggs. Then you could sell them all in the city for a good price." Another woman agreed. "You could have a proper business," she said. But Amma listened politely and gently refused. She smiled at their suggestions. She explained that she saw the extra egg not as a chance for profit. She saw it as a gift to share. It was not hers to keep. It was hers to pass on. Her heart was firm in this belief. She did not want more hens or more worries. She wanted only what she needed. This is an important lesson for us, my dear friends. Abundance is not a signal to accumulate more and more for ourselves. It is an invitation. It is an invitation to participate in the flow of generosity. When we receive more than we need, it is a chance to give. This flow connects us all. It makes the community stronger. Amma understood this simple truth. Her small trade at the market was a quiet act of faith. It was faith that sharing creates a different kind of wealth. This wealth is measured in connection, not in coins.
Soon, 2 eggs each morning became the new normal for Amma. And with this new rhythm, her sharing grew. She began to look more closely at the people in her village. She noticed a poor family whose children often had little to eat. She saw other children walking home from school with hungry looks. Her 1 extra egg was no longer just for the market. It became a small token of care. She would boil the egg and wrap it in a clean cloth. Then she would walk to the family's home. She would place the warm egg in the mother's hand. She would give another to a child on the road. She never made a loud show of it, but it was a quiet gift. This created a network of support. It was unseen by most people, but deeply felt by those who received her kindness. The poor family began to leave a few vegetables from their small patch at her gate. The children would sometimes help her carry water from the stream. A quiet bond was forming, woven from small acts of giving. The villagers who had given her advice before now became more persistent. They saw her routine and thought it was a waste. "Amma, you are too kind," one man said, "but kindness does not fill a purse. You should buy more hens. Then you could sell all the eggs in the city for a much better price. You could be a rich woman." Amma listened to them politely. She nodded her head, but her heart was firm. She would smile and give them her simple answer. "1 for me and 1 to share," she would say softly. "That's enough." She understood something they did not. She knew that expanding her possessions would also expand her worries. More hens would need more food and more care. Selling in the city would mean long journeys and dealing with strangers. Her small life would become big and complicated. She did not want that kind of trouble. Her small, repeated act was teaching a large lesson. It was a lesson about the true size of a good deed. A single act of kindness might seem small, like a single pebble dropped in a pond. But when you repeat that act, day after day, the ripples grow wider and wider. They touch more and more lives. This is how you build something strong. A single act of kindness, repeated, can build a fortress. It is a fortress of community resilience. This fortress is far stronger than any individual wealth. It protects everyone inside it. It is built not with stones, but with trust and care. This was the quiet strength that Amma was creating with her 1 extra egg. It was a strength that would soon be tested in a way no one could have foreseen.
Then the monsoon rains came. They were heavy and relentless. The sky turned dark gray for many days. The gentle stream near Amma's cottage swelled into a rushing river. It overflowed its banks. The water washed away many of the village fields. The vegetables and grains that people depended on were gone. Livelihoods were threatened. It was a time of collective hardship for everyone. In this chaos, Amma's routine did not change. Each morning, she would put on her shawl and walk through the rain to the coop. Poppy was still there, safe and dry. And every morning, Poppy still laid 2 eggs. In a world that felt upside down, these 2 eggs were a small beacon of consistency. They were a promise that some things remained the same. Amma's response to this crisis evolved. She knew the extra egg would spoil quickly in the damp air, so she began to preserve them. She would boil the extra egg right away. Sometimes she would pickle it in a jar with spices and vinegar. This way the gift could last longer. Her sharing became more urgent. It was a direct response to the heightened need around her. The family she helped had lost their vegetable patch. The children had no dry food for their walk to school. The egg was no longer just a gift of kindness. It became a small lifeline. It was a bit of solid food in a difficult time. This crisis revealed the deeper value of her philosophy. Her way of living was not just for sunny days, it was for storms as well. While others hoarded what little they had left, fearing greater scarcity, Amma's practice created a different reality. It created a small pocket of sufficiency. Because she had always shared, she knew how to give when the need was greatest. The connections she had woven during the good times now held strong during the bad. A life built on sharing is not weakened by hardship, it is strengthened. This is because its roots are in connection, not in isolation. When you are alone, a storm can break you. But when you are connected to others, you can lean on each other. You can share the little you have. That sharing makes the little feel like a lot. Amma's cottage became a small center of calm in the village. People knew they could find a kind word there. They might find a pickled egg. They would find a reminder that they were not alone. The storm tested the village, and it tested Amma's heart. Her heart, built on generosity, did not break. It grew stronger.
After the storms passed and the sun returned, the villagers came to Amma's cottage. They stood in her small garden. The air was clean and the ground was wet. They had a question for her. It was a question that had been on their minds for a long time. One man spoke for the group. "Why, Amma?" he asked. "Why did you not sell more eggs when you had the chance? You could have been rich. You could have built a bigger house. You could have saved many coins." This was the final test for Amma. It was a challenge to her entire way of life. They were asking her to defend her choices. They were asking her to explain her simple heart. Amma smiled warmly at them. She did not see their question as criticism. She saw it as a search for understanding. She saw honest confusion in their eyes. They truly wanted to know. She motioned for them to sit on the stools near her door. She spoke to them gently. "My friends," she began, "my goal was never richness in coins. It was richness in heart." She looked at each of their faces. True happiness is not about gathering more and more for yourself. It is about loving what we already have, and it is about sharing it when the time comes. She explained that she had kept only what she needed for her simple life. The rest was not hers to hoard. It was a gift she was meant to pass on. Her extra egg was like a message. It was a message that said, "I have enough and so can you." Her simplicity was not a sign of poverty. It was a conscious choice. It was an active pursuit of peace. She chose a life without the worry of protecting many things. She chose a life of quiet giving instead. The villagers listened. They were quiet. They looked at her small cottage. They looked at her calm face. They looked at Poppy scratching in the dirt. They began to reflect on the difference between a full purse and a full life. A purse can be filled with coins, but it can also feel empty. A life filled with peace and good deeds feels whole. It feels complete. The most valuable profit is not financial gain. It is the peace of mind that comes from living in alignment with a generous heart. When your actions match your beliefs, you feel a deep calm.
This calm is a treasure that no thief can steal and no storm can wash away. Amma had this treasure. The villagers saw it clearly now. They saw that she was, in her own way, the richest person they knew. Her wealth was quiet but unshakable. It was built on a foundation of giving, not taking. This was the wisdom she offered them, not in a loud voice, but in her gentle, steady way.
Amma's story began to spread through the town. It was not told as a tale of poverty. It was told as a story of profound wealth. People would speak of her in the market. They would talk about her while fetching water. They started to see their own lives in a new way. They began to look at what they had through a simple lens. The lens was one to keep, one to share. It was a quiet revolution in thinking. The true value was never in the egg itself. It was in the love Amma put into the act. It was in the quiet intention with which she gave it away. She did not give with a heavy heart or a sense of duty. She gave with a light heart and a gentle smile. This made the gift much more than food. It became a message of care. Poppy the hen continued her quiet companionship. She was a living symbol of unconditional giving. She asked for nothing more than a few grains and a safe place to sleep. Yet she gave her eggs freely, day after day. She did not decide how many to lay. She simply gave what she had. Amma had shown everyone a great truth. She demonstrated that real security does not come from hoarding things in a dark corner. It comes from the strength of our bonds with other people. When you are connected, you are never truly alone. Her humble cottage, with its simple garden, was in truth a palace. It was a palace of compassion and peace. It was rich with a warmth that no big house could ever have. This understanding redefines the very idea of what it means to be rich. We often think a rich person has a lot of money, but there is another kind of richness. It is a richness that grows the more it is distributed. Think of a smile. When you give a smile away, you do not lose your own smile. You often gain one in return. This is different from money. Money diminishes when it is spent, but kindness multiplies when it is shared. The chain of kindness that Amma started did not end. It continued invisibly. The family she helped might help another family. The children she fed might grow up to be kind adults. These threads wove the community closer together. They created a fabric of mutual support that was strong and soft at the same time. The ultimate return on investment in life is not measured in currency. It is measured in the compounded interest of kindness. Every good deed is like a seed planted in good soil. Over time, it grows and bears fruit. That fruit is shared well-being. It is a sense that we are all in this together. This is the true profit of a life well lived. It is a profit that fills the heart and never empties.
One evening, Amma looked at Poppy and said softly, "True happiness isn't about collecting more. It's about appreciating what we already have and choosing to share it with kindness." This is the simple truth her life taught. When we lift up others, we find that we lift ourselves as well. Together, we build a different kind of wealth. We become rich in compassion. We become rich in peace. We become rich in the quiet happiness that comes from a generous heart. My dear friend, may you always have just what you need, and may you always have the heart to share it.